Hey guys, welcome to After the Anchor podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Wise. Today I have a guest and his name is Omar. He is the owner of Main Lounge in Dallas. It's actually in downtown Dallas in the Design District. Yes. It is such a cool location. I got to go to the grand opening. We knew of each other during the grand opening, but we had not become friendly, where we had conversation. And I got to hear Omar's story. You came to my house, our mutual friend who kind of introduced us, hooked me up. She said, no, let me get Omar and he's going to come and do your makeup and your hair for my first photo shoot that I'd done as an adult for business. Yeah. And you came over and you told me your story. And in that moment, I was like, we were connected when you told me this very specific part about you found hope. Yeah. And I had goosebumps all over my body, and I had to wait for you to finish what you were saying. And then I was like, I need to have you on the podcast. And here we are.
Yeah.
It's like, how many months?
It's been probably like 4.
Yeah,
5
good
months.
things come when you wait.
Yeah,
patience.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy to be here with you.
Thank you
for
coming. Thank you. Well, we are going to talk about the space between surviving and becoming. Mm-hmm. Because I think a lot of us get caught in that survival space. We get used to living this life that we've grown into, and sometimes it feels super overwhelming and we want more, but we don't really know how to go for more.
Right.
We maybe didn't have the upbringing with an encouragement, with encouraging parents who were pushing for us to do more. Maybe we did, but they didn't know how to show us. Right. And whenever I heard your story and how many times you reset, you moved cities, you lost jobs, you started over, and then you had 2 pretty intense, distinct moments for me in your story. Right. That changed the trajectory, especially one, changed the trajectory of your evening, your next day in your life. And so I just kind of want to start at the beginning, if you don't mind.
Of course.
I got to hear, though we've got to share the story of Omar because it's an incredibly motivating one, inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually really excited to share because I've always wanted to let people know, especially the people who follow me or people who have actually known who Omar is. I just wanted to get my story out and share that, there is hope for everyone. And as long as you commit and you are consistent and you push yourself, everything is possible.
For sure. So let's start at the beginning.
Yes.
Where are you from? Where were you born?
So I was born in Dallas, Texas. I am a Parkland baby.
Here we are. We are in Dallas, Texas. We're actually in Grapevine, Texas right now, but we're in the smaller part of Dallas.
Yeah.
So, what part of Dallas? You said you were born in
North Dallas.
North Dallas.
Yes.
North Dallas. What was your neighborhood like when you were growing up? Like me, we had maybe 2 or 3 kids on the block. I don't know. Did you have friends that played in your neighborhood?
Yeah, absolutely. We lived in an apartment complex, multiple apartment complexes all around the entire neighborhood. That's all it was. Webb Chapel is pretty much the area, the closest big street from there. And there's so many apartments there, so there was tons of kids everywhere.
You were in and out of each other's places,
all the time.
Yeah. So always had something to do.
Yes.
What kind of a kid were you like?
I loved dancing as a kid. Even now as an adult, I still love dancing. I was creative, which I still am creative. I was kind, sweet.
Did you talk a lot?
I did talk a lot, actually.
You were talkative?
Yeah, I was very talkative.
Were you also shy?
No. I've never been shy, to be honest, even as a little boy. Now that I'm getting older, I tend to be shy in large group settings, But when I'm on one, no, I'm never shy.
Yeah. How many people were in the house with you? What did the house look like?
Oh
Mom, dad?
man, it was my mom, my dad, my aunt, my two sisters, my two older brothers, and then my baby brother.
That's a big house.
That's
That's
a
a
big
big,
house.
big house full of
Yeah,
people.
in a two-bedroom. Yeah.
Wow. What was that like to get ready? How
It was chaos.
chaos. Get
Yeah.
out of their way. I gotta go.
Yeah, it was chaos.
So, but it was alive. It
It was
was
alive, yeah.
alive.
Oh,
Always food being cooked.
always. Well, we come from a very humbling uh, beginning where my parents didn't have a lot, and so they did what they could to make sure that we had food on the table. I never really realized how much struggle they went through to put food on the table until now that I'm older, that I know deeper things. But yeah, it was fun. It was chaotic. It was all sorts of things, all sorts of emotions and feelings, to be honest.
I know that you got sick when you were younger, as a
Yes.
young boy. How old were you?
I was 5 years old.
5. You were young.
Yeah,
Was
I was
that
young.
in Dallas?
That was in
You
Dallas.
were in
Yeah.
Dallas. Tell me a bit about that. What were you sick with?
So I was diagnosed with leukemia. I had cancer, and my mom at the time knew that something was wrong with me. I was always getting bruised up easily. I wouldn't eat. I was always throwing up. I was tired. My legs would always hurt. And it got to a point where, like, I was not moving at all. So my mom took me to the hospital, and they kept sending her back. They told her that there was nothing wrong with me, that it was just probably the flu. It would go by, just to give me some medicine, and went about my ways. But my mom knew deeply, as any mother would, that something was off, and she was not going to leave the hospital until they ran all of the tests. And sure enough, she stayed, and she told the doctors, I'm not leaving. I need to find out what's wrong with him, and I need to know now. And so they did a lot of blood work, and they told her the news that I had leukemia.
Do you remember the blood work? Do you kind of remember any of that?
I don't a lot of it, but I have memories where I've gone for bone marrow transplant. I've got scars in my lower back from bone marrow transplant. And I remember chemotherapy, when I would go for chemotherapy as well. Um, so there's just like vivid memories, and there's like one or two pictures that I have. Um, Actually, with Elmis Smith, I had a picture with him because it was like a thing for the Cowboys to do with the kids. And I took a picture of him because they gave me all these gifts and stuff. So I do remember that. I have that picture. But for the most part, I don't have any pictures because my mom didn't want to, if I didn't make it, which out of the 10 kids that were in the same area in the children's hospital, only me and another boy survived.
What
So
year was this?
this was 1995.
Yeah, that was still early.
Yeah, it was still early, and there wasn't enough like research, I guess, to confirm that I would make it. So my mom would avoid pictures, so that in the event that I did leave this beautiful place called Earth, she didn't want to hold on to those memories of me being in the hospital.
Did you have a lot of siblings during that time?
Yeah, I had all of my siblings except for my baby brother. Everybody else was born.
How
So,
did your mom handle that?
to be honest, she's so resilient. I admire her so much because she would grab the diaper bag, my sister being a baby, my two older brothers, and she would have to walk from our apartment to the bus stop, which was down the street, and had all of us to get on the bus then from the bus go all the way to Children's Hospital and figure it all out all by herself.
School and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you were not in school yet. How
No.
long did that last?
I was pretty much considered out of remission by the time I was 8.
Oh, so several years.
Yeah, several years.
So did you do any school while you were?
I was homeschooled
Okay, so you were homeschooled
until I pretty much got
out of that.
remission, and I was able to.
Do you feel that we'll get to that point? Well, no. When you went to school, did you feel that you were equipped, or did you ever feel like you were behind?
I've always felt like I was behind.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why I never finished high school. I got my GED, but I felt I was always behind.
I got my GED too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good
I'm
enough
okay with it.
for me.
I'm okay
It
with
was
it.
my good enough diploma.
Yeah, and for those who say that it's not a high school diploma, baby, that's a high school diploma.
It's a high school diploma. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was. It's just what we needed.
Yeah, just what we needed to
As
get
a
through life.
yeah, what we needed. When you went in and you were with the kids, this is something, with trauma and having leukemia as a child, that's traumatic. Even if nothing in your life happens to you, having leukemia as a child would be ingrained in your nervous system. Hospitals, beepings, needles, not having control of the situation. You're a minor. You don't get to make a decision. You're forced to have all of these things done. So that in itself. And with trauma, usually I've always heard they're so mature, they're so wise, And so when you were in school with your peers, did you kind of ever feel that they didn't get that life could be difficult? You'd seen a couple of things. Did you ever feel that way?
No, my mom did a really good job about still treating me as a child, regardless of what I was going through. She did her best to make me a happy kid. And I feel like that's part of why I recovered, was because she never made me feel sad for what I was going through. She never made me feel like, oh, a sad story. It was always happy moments around my mother. And so that, when I was pretty much put into a public school, like, it didn't feel off or like not normal. I felt like I was still a child and I didn't see life differently. But I as an adult now, yes, I do see life differently. As a child, no, I don't think that.
Yeah. Do you think that version of you after your illness, do you feel that you were still the same kid? You were still hyper and fun? It didn't get you down?
No, it didn't get me down. I've always been such a happy kid. I mean, there is a home video, and I wish I can find that home video, but my grandpa, who I loved dearly, I loved breaking piñatas. And so he would, you know how the diapers would swell up or whatever?
Yeah.
So he would take a diaper and put it in water so it would swell up, and then he would hang it up so I would
So you
break the
could hit it.
piñata. And those are like core memories that I had as a child. And they've kept me happy the entire time. So I never felt like illness, Maybe I was tired and everything, but those aren't memories that I remember as an adult having as a kid.
They did a really good job.
They really did.
They played. It sounds like you got played with, So it was a good distraction.
It definitely was. And that's why I have admired them so much. I don't have my grandma or my grandpa anymore, but they were part of like my childhood, and making sure that I was at least a happy kid during the time frame that I was sick.
How long did you stay in Dallas before your family moved? I know we've talked about that you moved to Georgia.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
So my mom, she knew that I was out of remission, and there was just too many bad memories for her
Yeah.
here in Dallas. So she wanted a new beginning, and she wanted to go to a place where they were going to be able to pay her well.
Mm-hmm.
And she found a manufacturing job in Georgia. They're known for like carpet. It's known for the
Mm-hmm.
like the world carpet place or
Yeah.
whatever. And she got a job out there, and we moved to a very small town called Dalton, Georgia.
Dal- Dalton, Georgia.
Yeah, Dalton, Georgia.
How many of y'all went?
Well, all of us. My dad told my mom,
Aunts?
well, except for my aunt.
No,
So my
but grandparents?
my grandparents were already in Georgia.
They were already in
Yep,
Georgia.
they were already in Georgia, and so it was me, my mom, my brothers, and my sisters. And then my dad was kind of like still iffy about moving out there, so he stayed in Dallas for a few months before he moved out to Georgia.
Okay. Were your parents together? Or they were separated?
They were together.
They were
Yeah.
together. How old were you whenever you moved out to Georgia?
I was 9.
You were 9.
Yeah.
How'd that move go for you with moving your friends, or were you pretty like, did you just go with the flow? I know that moving can, that's a, I have a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what that would look like. For her, she wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
For my son, I think he would have been affected because, at that age, you already kind of have a crew.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Well, I grew up with my cousins.
Oh,
So I loved
Yeah.
hanging around them. So that was the only thing that I kind of knew that I was going to be missing. But my mom had suffered so much, not only with me and my sickness, but her relationship with my father, that I knew a change of scenery and environment would be good for the family. So I was excited for the new change.
now when you moved out there, you're in, that's still kind of like fifth, sixth grade.
Yeah, I was
Fifth,
fourth grade.
fourth grade.
Yeah.
So it's still easy to make friends.
Yeah.
So you just fit right in.
Yeah, I remember my first friend actually. Her name's Yasmin Rodriguez. We have the same birthday too. And I remember it was a school called Morris Street, and it was an elementary school. And she's so much taller than me that when we met each other, she's like, "Well, if you give me a kiss, then we can be friends." And I had to jump to give her a kiss.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
So that was in fourth grade?
Yeah, that was in fourth grade.
That is so funny. Kids
Yeah.
are really funny in fourth grade. And you just what did normal like weekends look like? Did you play sports?
I played sports in middle school. I played soccer, but it was only temporarily. It
It was
wasn't.
for fun.
It was for fun.
It was
Yeah.
for fun. You never were like, I'm gonna go and do this competitively.
Yeah, no, I wanted
Any of your
to.
siblings?
No, none of my siblings.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
that really encouraged? Like go do sports?
No, I lived in a typical Mexican household where studies and education was a priority, but then if you could get a job at a young age and maintain for yourself, then that was the ultimate goal, is to make sure you work hard and make money for yourself.
How old were you when you first started working?
I was 14.
You were 14. Did you
Yeah.
do the checker bagger? Was it what can you do when you're 14?
I worked at Wendy's.
Yeah, you can. Well,
Well, no, you couldn't.
Oh no, I was like, wait a second. No, you
my
can't.
man,
Like,
my man. Well, I mean, I don't know now
Yeah,
if he
but-
works or not, but I don't even have to say his name. But he like altered my date of birth so I could work.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah, he altered my date of birth, and I wanted to work because my mom struggled so much. I mean, 6 kids, and to make ends meet was extremely hard for her. And I wanted all the new things. I wanted new shoes. I wanted new clothes. Like, I remember Fat Farm was a thing, FUBU, and like all the South Pole
Timberlands,
Timberlands, like that all was a thing back then, right? And
Yeah, it was.
all the kids had all this stuff in school, and I wanted to, and my mom's like, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can get a job, but that would be the only way. And I did. I went and applied, and I had my first job.
Did you like that job?
Yeah, I did.
Did
I
you stay for a
actually.
minute?
I did. I stayed at Wendy's. It was for like 3 years.
What did you learn from there? What did you take from that job
Uh,
that you use today? Anything?
hard work, working hard, consistency, showing up on time, and determination.
Yeah. Did you like your managers?
I did. They were
Yeah.
all nice.
So it was a good experience for a
Yeah,
first job.
absolutely. And I think the manager that hired me on, he also like took like he admired the fact that I wanted to work and I wanted to provide for myself because one thing about me is I've always been very open about like feelings, emotions, and talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him I was like I just want to help my mom, like, and I think he felt some compassion towards that,
Yeah.
and
Human.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, he did what he had to do, and I appreciate him because it to this day I still use what I know. I've always been very hardworking,
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
always.
So in high school, you have friends.
Yeah.
They're fun, popular.
Yeah, I was the I guess you could say the popular kid in school.
Yeah, I love that.
I had a lot of
A
girlfriends.
lot of
Yeah.
girlfriends. Now dating, what did that look like for you?
Well, I had one girlfriend when I was 16. Uh, by this time, I knew who I was and being gay, and I just tried to hide it for so long because I was afraid what my friends would say. I was afraid what my family would say. So I had to cover it up. I had to cover up with a girlfriend.
About what age did you start thinking like, okay, I like boys?
I was young. I was about 14,
14.
12,
Yeah,
14. Yeah,
12, 14.
yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that something was different. I just didn't know how to like you know
Talk about it.
talk about it
Yeah.
because in my family, it's not very like it wasn't it's accepting now, but it wasn't as accepting then,
Well,
and some families even still don't accept it.
absolutely
So
not. It's definitely whole families will burn a bridge down for
yeah.
that. Yeah, lose a family member over that. But so was there ever any open dialogue about that in the house?
No, I wanted to talk about it, but there was fear of what my family would say, and so I told my sisters. Those were really my outlets. My two sisters, they're younger than me. I love them to death, and they were the ones who kind of they were like, it's okay, like we love you, and we both we all three said don't tell mom or don't tell dad, and it wasn't until like I was sneaking out the house to go do things that pretty much I got caught up.
As at your age today, what do you think about kids raising kids? Don't tell mom, don't
Yeah.
tell dad. Isn't it funny that, we were getting our advice from our siblings and peers?
Yeah.
Well, it was pretty intense discussion, and you felt, so how would you approach that with your child? If you have children,
Yeah.
you're going to open the dialogue up about loving whoever you love young.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very important for everybody to know. Like obviously, I'm not someone who's going to push it,
Yeah.
but I am definitely someone who would communicate and say, you can love whoever you want to love and be more open
Yeah.
instead of shutting someone off
I for sure. Yeah.
or like, if there was ever a conversation like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, or no, no, don't say anything, like I think that's part of like the generational curses that we have as generations that
Mm-hmm.
come along, that as adults us we have to learn how to break,
Yeah.
because my mom was also growing up, so I understand where she was coming from when I came out and how upsetting it could have been for her. Um, but now she loves me to death, and I love her to death.
Did that happen early for you coming out to your mom?
Yes, yeah,
It
I
was in.
was, I was 16. I was 16, and I told my brother that I was taking my girlfriend out to the movies, and I asked him if I can borrow his truck because I wanted to be cool and show up in his Tahoe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made up this story, and back in the day, we would have to go on MapQuest
Yeah, some printed. Yeah,
to print out
get on the computer and print it out.
and print out the
If you had
directions.
paper
Yeah.
or ink.
So I went to the public library because we didn't have a computer, And I Googled, I map quested a gay club. And I printed the directions, and I told my brother I was going to the movies with this girl, and I uh, stole his ID.
It gets better.
Yeah. And I drove from Dalton to Atlanta, which is like an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, you were
I was
brave. You were
determined.
determined.
Yeah. And so I showed up to the club, and they let me in.
That was my other thing. I was like, I mean, that was risky.
Yeah. They let me in. Can you believe that?
Alone.
Alone.
You were just fishing.
I was like, fuck it. And
I can't believe you didn't take a wingman.
no, I didn't know anyone. So I couldn't, like, I couldn't take anybody.
Were you scared at all?
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
scared. I was nervous. So many emotions. I remember even sitting in the parking lot, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
What were you going to do when you
What
got
are
in
you
there
doing?
anyway?
Yeah.
What were you going to do? What were you
I just wanted to
looking for?
experience.
Yeah,
I
experience.
wanted to see that I wasn't the only gay person. You know, I wanted to see other people like me. I wanted to feel what other gay men around me were feeling. Like it was a necessity for me because I didn't grow up around it. I didn't have anyone around it. And so for me, it was like a feeling of like, okay, what is it that you are seeking or trying to feel? And I think ultimately it was just being in a place where I could be comfortable in myself. And I did. I walked in, my heart was beating, and the moment he said they patted me down and let me in, I was like, I can't believe I'm in a 21-year-old club with a 16-year-old ID. I mean, my brother's ID at 16 years old. Like, who the heck am I? And so I walk in, and the moment I walk in, to the left is one of my brother's friends that was known in the small town that we lived in, for being gay. And I was like, fuck. Like, what did I just walk into?
Did he see you?
He did.
What did he do?
He was like, Omar? And I was like, I just froze, and I was like, oh my gosh, please don't tell my family. Please don't tell my brothers. Please, like, please. I was like, he's like, you're fine. Like, don't worry about it. And they became, that group of friends of theirs became my friends. And that's who was my friend group, because that's who I, like, became close to. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, they're here, and they know who my brothers are. And so it was...
Did they keep the secret?
They did keep the secret, actually.
Because they knew.
They
what
knew.
it felt
They
like.
knew. They knew my brothers too, because my brothers were known to be very like masculine, and they were. My brothers were trouble, but they're so much better now. But they knew that my brothers were like the tough guys, you know. So they also knew that in my family, that was nothing to like really talk about, and so they accepted me. They took me in and they protected me. And I would hang out with them all the time until there was one time where I was very strong about like not taking pictures with them. And even when I would ride in the car with them in the small town, I would like duck, or like I didn't want to be seen. And I was like, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, who the hell is looking for an excuse?
Yeah,
you know?
I was looking in the cars. Yeah.
And so I remember I told him, please don't take any pictures. Like I don't want any pictures. And I know that this friend of mine didn't do it on purpose, but he took a picture of me putting $1 on a go-go dancer, and I was 17 by this time, and I can't believe I'm like saying 17, putting $1 on a go-go dancer. But he took the picture and then he uploaded it on MySpace. Yeah. And so on his like top friends, it was like the top 10. My ex-sister-in-law was on there.
Oh.
Yeah. And so my ex-sister-in-law ran and told my brother. And then my brother ran and told my mother. And my mom never busted. And my mom really never confronted me in that very moment. But I did see a change in her energy, the way she treated me. Um, there was things that weren't making sense, and I remember like my sisters were they grew up doing the chores because in a Mexican household like the girls do everything, the guys do too, but the guys do like that yard work or
Different
like
stuff, yeah.
different things. And so I remember my mom assigning me all these household chores because my sisters were the ones doing the household chores. And I don't know if that was a way of her telling me, like, I know because I'm assigning you all the girl chores, like washing the dishes. And even though these are basic necessities, like
Mm-hmm.
they, fold the laundry, everybody's laundry, and sweep and all this other stuff. So I almost felt like Cinderella a
She
little
put
bit.
you in a stereotypical role.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And so I remember sweeping, and she got so mad because she felt like I wasn't sweeping right. And
Yeah.
she's like, "You're not sweeping right." And I'm like, "I'm sweeping just fine, like." And I remember she got so upset, and she's like, "You can't do anything right in this household." And then I was like, "Well, what's happening? What's going on?" And she's like, "Are you?" And I'm like, "Am I what?" And I truly didn't understand what she was like saying, but she's like, "Are you? I'm asking you, are you?" And I was like, "Am I what?" I truly want to know what you're trying to say. And she yelled, she's like, "Are you gay?" In Spanish, obviously. And my life flashed before my eyes where I was like, fuck, do I say it now or forever hold it for the rest of my life? And I knew that I was my mom's like pride and joy, and that I everywhere I went, I was my mom's obsession, you know, always. And especially after like, going through
Yeah,
cancer and
your
everything,
cancer,
like
yeah.
she I know she expected so much of me, and she didn't expect that, even though being gay is nothing less or weird or anything, right? So I I knew that there was gonna be some disappointment, and I thought about it, and I paused for a very long time, and I said yes, yes, I am gay.
What kind of what was the feeling? You say your life flashed. Was it now that you know your feelings, do you think it was kind of like a relief almost after you said it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was like live, I can live my true authentic self
Did you
now.
feel more like an adult?
Yes,
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah, instantly, I would
Instantly.
imagine.
I I remember calling my grandparents, because they were part of the reason why my mom came around. Even though I knew that eventually she was going to come around, my grandparents were part of the reason why she is as accepting as she is today.
What like that's such a it happens
Mhm.
to every gay man. They
Yeah.
have to make that choice. Do they
Mhm.
tell? Do they hold on to the secret? How long do they hold on to it for? Does
Yeah.
and that was such a that's again part of this kind of like resilience that you have of just like this is the right path.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck, but it's important.
It's important.
It's important.
There's so many men out there who unfortunately are down low, and they marry, have kids, and end up in a lifelong relationship, 8+ years, and then they get older and they're like, I need to be my true authentic self. And you just devastated a woman's life, and you are harming also the kids' lives because everything's changing everywhere. And I didn't want that for myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to be who I was and not make everyone else happy.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't get older and marry a woman and have kids, and for what? To make my mom and dad happy? Like, I know that they would eventually I wholeheartedly knew that they would eventually come around.
Mm-hmm.
So I was okay with, you know, disappointing them for the time being, as long as I was happy. And I think that's part of like me as an adult now that I take with me through like all these trials and tribulations that I go through, is that I have to do it for me.
Yeah.
I can't do it for everyone else. I can't make everybody else happy. And that's been the most important lesson.
I like that.
Yeah.
You didn't stay in school for very long. You got your GED.
Yeah,
About how soon after that coming out? Was it all pretty? Do you think
Ha-
that started the ball
oh yeah.
rolling? You're like, yep, I think I'm gonna be done. So you were ready to go make some money. You'd already tasted it. You
Yeah.
loved it. You were used to making money, and you were
Yeah.
like, let's quit with this
Yeah.
because you knew. I mean, if you know, there's zero reason to continue. I mean, I'm not encouraging kids to drop out of school, but
Yeah.
if it's your path and it's your kid's path, it's always there's no shame in it. There's zero
Yeah.
shame in getting that GED
Yeah.
diploma. So you said sayonara to school.
Yeah.
You
Got my
stayed
GED.
in Georgia. Did you enroll in college? Did you think I'm going to go in the college path, or did you do the career route?
No, I didn't. As soon as I came out, I went and got my GED because I knew that I needed to provide for myself, and that I knew that some things were gonna arise and I needed to figure things out. So I immediately got my GED. I um, ended up getting another job at KFC, and um, I was immediately promoted within them. Like, you go from like cook to like cashier and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. And um, I saved up enough money to get my own truck. I paid for it cash for my little truck. And I've always been a hustler, and I've always had a hustler mentality. Like, even in school, in middle school, I was selling candy, I was selling chips. I got in trouble for, selling stuff. But I always had like that mindset of like hustling, because I knew that it took hard work to earn something. So yeah, I went and got my truck, and I stayed in Georgia for about a year, and told my mom that I was moving out, that I wanted to, you know, be independent. And I wasn't even 18 yet. I was 17, almost 18. And she's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Dallas." And she's like, "Okay." I was like, and now I think about it, I'm like, "You let me go at 17? Like,
Yeah.
why didn't you let me
They
go?"
didn't really have a choice. I did the
Yeah.
same thing. I
But
was
my
gone at 17.
Yeah, but my mom, it's like she always knew that I was going to make it, because as a young child, I've always fought, you know? And she knew that regardless if I left, I was going to fight to make it. So to her, it wasn't like, "Oh, I'm holding you back." Like, "Oh, no, stay here. Please don't go anywhere." No, she's like, "He's got it." And I did. I packed my bags up, my little bags, and I called up one of my aunts down here in Dallas, and I was like, "Hey, can I come live with you?" And she's like, "Yes." And my brother helped me drive from Georgia to Dallas in my little Jeep Cherokee, and came to Dallas, and then, you
Who'd you
know,
stay with in Dallas when you moved out here?
with my aunt, with one of my aunts
And mom and dad stayed
in
back
Georgia.
in
Uh huh.
Georgia. And I know that you told me that what were you working at? You had clearly left KFC,
Yeah.
got your truck,
Mm-hmm.
got moved out here.
Yeah.
Family stays behind. And where are you working now?
Working at Wendy's again.
That's okay. That's
Yeah.
good. Hey, you know what? I look, I know customer service.
Yeah.
Like that's where it starts. That's where it's built.
Yeah.
Like there's customer service people, and then there's people who've never done and like there's nothing wrong with y'all who've never done customer service at all. We can just tell.
Yeah.
We can just tell. And maybe y'all can tell that we are customer service
Yeah.
people, and that's why they're just instantly
Yeah.
like, oh, they'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'll happily jump into that role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like immediately got a job. And then moving in with my aunt, I didn't know. Obviously, I'm 17. I didn't know priorities. I didn't know I had to pay rent. I didn't know I had to pay bills. And so I didn't last very long. I didn't last very long in Dallas. I eventually had to move back to Georgia because everything was, compiling. I had to pay bills, and I was a
You were
trouble.
17.
And I was 17, and I wouldn't say a troubled kid, but I loved to party. So like I would, go out and meet friends and be out drinking
Did
and
you ever
having a
do
good time.
did you do pot?
I didn't smoke pot.
You didn't try, yeah.
No, but I
It
would
was
get
kind of way
drunk.
harder back then
Yeah.
too. It was way harder
Yeah.
back then too.
But I would get drunk,
You would get drunk.
like super drunk.
Did you ever try
Like Four
ever
Loko
any
drunk.
Four Loko drunk?
I have many
That's
horror
pretty-
stories of them.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Do you want to share one? Share one.
I blacked out, so I don't really remember. I just remember throwing up everywhere, like projectile vomiting. Like,
Now, do you still think that we like when
I hate the smell of Four Loko.
3 minutes
I
before
hate it.
I'm like, yeah, we're 17. We moved out.
Yeah.
We figured it out. And you're like, made it like 6 months and back
Yeah.
to Georgia.
Literally.
So you made it back to Georgia.
I made it back to Georgia.
Thank God.
And moved in with my best friend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already about 18 going on 19.
Yeah.
And my mom suddenly tells me that she is moving to Oklahoma to be closer to her sister. And
About how old would your mom be at this point?
she was, let's see, probably by 48, 49.
49. She was finishing up that perimenopause.
Yeah.
She was. I see the patterns now. I'm big on patterns.
Yeah.
And when you said that, I'm like, I wonder how old she was when she decided she was going to go and start something new.
And she had a lot of like trouble raising my two older brothers, and they were already old.
Yeah.
They were already 18. I was 18. Like
Yeah.
she only had to worry about the two girls and
Yeah.
my little brother. So she's like, whoever's coming with me, let's go. Whoever's not,
And did you
stay
go?
behind. I stayed.
Yeah.
I stayed. I had a good manufacturing job. I was working at a carpet mill, and I was making good money. But I knew that I wasn't going to stay there all my life. So I made it back to Dallas again. So I stayed in Georgia for like 6 months after my mom moved.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had met a friend out here in Dallas, because I would come and visit here and there. And I asked him if I could move in, and he said yeah. So they were all gay friends too, and I moved in, and I moved back to Dallas till I was like 21, and all we did was party nonstop. Came back, and I was working at what's it called? Bed Bath & Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
I was working at Bed Bath & Beyond. I've had so many jobs.
That's okay.
I've had so many jobs. But,
Same.
I couldn't keep up because I would party with my friends. I wasn't making any money. I was showing up hungover to
Sleeping in the pillows at
sleeping in
Bed
the-
Bath
yeah,
and Beyond. You're like,
like-
oh, this new Ugg blanket.
Yeah. I ended up getting fired from Bed Bath & Beyond for showing up late to work. And one of my older friends at the time, he told me, he said, "You're young. I understand there's a lot going on, but you have to get your life together. Like you're going down not such a good path."
That was a good friend.
Yeah. And I had a car, because I had lost my Jeep Cherokee in a car accident. So I ended up getting a different type of car. I had an Infiniti, and it got repoed because I couldn't pay it.
Oh, you were living above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was partying all the time.
What were you trying to cover up? What were you feeling when you were doing that? Because we know that we're numbing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. It's fun. There's definitely the fun mixed
Yeah.
in. But when you're doing it so much that you can't pay your bills and you're getting fired, you
Yeah.
are drinking to forget.
Yeah.
What were you trying to forget?
I think it was a sense of just trying to belong. You know, like um, I growing up, seeing what my parents went through. Um, it was very, traumatic. Because my dad wasn't the best father, unfortunately. But I never felt like I belonged somewhere. So I think it was just trying to fit in, trying to find who Omar truly was. And drinking would you would forget all of it.
Lubricate.
Yeah, you would have fun and forget about everything that's happening.
The Omar that was out at night, was he the same Omar that was there when you woke up in the morning?
No.
No. So if you had lunch with you, were you the same energy as the person that went out at night?
No.
No.
Because
Was that hard?
it was.
What's part of that identity where you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out?
Yeah. And moving back and forth and failing in Dallas, and then I wouldn't even say failing in Dallas, but experiencing Dallas, having to go back to Georgia, then coming back to Dallas again. And now I'm in this party mode, and I'm like, I can't even afford bills. And for my friend to sit down and say, hey, like, this isn't this isn't good.
Yeah.
And my car got repoed. I didn't have a job. So he's like, I will do you the favor and drop you off in Oklahoma with your family. And he did.
Yeah.
He drove me. He drove me to Oklahoma
Yeah.
and got dropped off. And I remember when I got dropped off, I was like, I don't know anybody. I'm 21 and I don't know anybody in Oklahoma.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know anyone. And so I was like, this is the time where I can, figure it out.
Start.
And I did. I um, got my first corporate job at Farmers Insurance as a Spanish interpreter. And immediately, saved up, got a car, and I made a new group of friends who accepted Omar for who he was and admired Omar for who he was and loved Omar for who he was. And that's when I was like, this is, this is where I this is where I belong.
This is where you belong right now.
Yeah.
What did Mom think? Was she happy to see you back
Oh,
in
absolutely.
her chicken house?
Yeah, absolutely. She was ecstatic to have me.
How
and-
was Mom at that time? Was Mom doing better? Did you see Mom feeling better?
No, my mom.
Did that have heaviness for you still?
It did.
Yeah.
My mom has struggled so much.
Yeah.
She's such a resilient woman. She's such a brave woman. And even when I talk about her, I get emotional because of like how, what everything that she's gone through in life. She still has managed to be a mom.
Yeah.
And that's where I get a lot of my resilience from, and I get a lot of my heart from my mom's heart because she's taught me to, it doesn't matter how many times you fall, you get back up. And I have fallen. By that time, many times. So, it was like, okay, here we are. Got to start.
Always encouraging you.
Always encouraging
She was
me.
always there.
Always there. And so I did. I spent a couple years at Farmers Insurance, and I just kept climbing up the corporate ladder until one day I had gotten so overweight that I was going up the stairs to get to my desk, and I ran out of breath.
What was the weight come from? Drinking?
Stress.
Stress? Were you
Yeah.
still heavy drinking or no?
No, I wasn't heavy drinking.
Because you'd left that party
Yeah, I had left
atmosphere,
that-
so you were just eating.
Yeah, I was just eating. And I would work.
And sedentary.
Yeah, and I would work. I would work double shifts, um, you know, 12, 13, sometimes 14 hours. I would take overtime. I was just hustling. I was just working. I was just trying to save money. I wanted everything that I could have, right? And so when I had gained so much weight and I went up the stairs and I was like, what's going on? Like, I can't even breathe. It was kind of like a instant
Yeah.
like shift change to me,
Mm-hmm.
where I was like, this isn't normal, and we need to evaluate like what is it that you want. And being behind the desk also was like, is this what I'm gonna do the rest of my life? Like, am I gonna be 60 and I'm gonna be showing up, clocking in forever? Is this my cap? Is this my my ultimate goal? And I said no. So I got my health together, and I was like, what else do you want to do, Omar? And I've always been passionate about beauty. I've always loved making women feel beautiful, playing in hair, doing updos. Like, that was just my thing, you know? And I was like, cosmetology school. But before cosmetology school, I tried to do, I wanted to get into nursing. So I went first to try out at Triple C, O Triple C. It's a community college in Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
to see if I wanted to do that. So I took, it was psychology, medical terminology, and then it was like an algebra thing.
Your
And
prerequisites.
yeah,
Yeah.
and when I took medical terminology, I said, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
Hell no! This is no, absolutely not."
Yeah.
And to people, like some people will say, "That's the easiest class."
Oh.
Well, it wasn't for me.
Did you like
Sorry.
psychology?
I did like psychology.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
passed it. I
Of course,
passed
you
it.
should pass it
Yeah.
because so that's something like two things. One, I'm gonna want to know how you got healthy, but the other thing I really want to say is this is literally why you're here. Like, you have this ability, and everyone has this ability. Every single person has this ability
Yeah.
to stop the ball. Like, I hate when I hear the ball's rolling down the hill. Okay,
Yeah.
get in front of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you took out 30 people while that ball was rolling down the hill. You
Yeah.
can fix all that. You
Yeah.
can apologize, you can bandage and everything.
Yeah.
Stop that ball. And that's what you do is you literally stop the ball. You look at what's going on and then you pivot.
Yeah.
And you don't just talk about it. You like do it. You didn't just go, well, let me go to hair school. You're like, let me make sure I actually don't want to do something. And you like go and take that's stopping your life for a semester. And a lot of people are scared to stop their life for a month
Yeah.
just to try something different.
Just to try something
You went and enrolled in school. You didn't even like school the first time.
No.
I loved school the second time,
Yeah.
but I wasn't cut out for I wanted to see if I was going to be a nurse too,
Yeah.
because I'm such a empath and I want to like relate and connect, but I'm not that.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
So medical
hair-
terminology.
Wait, and how did you get, sorry, medical terminology?
So I did medical terminology and figured out it wasn't for me. It dropped out of the class, and I was like, this is not it.
Yeah.
Fuck this. This is not gonna be my path. And after I knew that, that's when I enrolled into cosmetology
Yeah.
school. And in cosmetology school, you don't learn everything, right?
You don't want
So
you
I
learn the
would.
test.
I ended up switching my schedule to work overnights. So I was a claims adjuster at night. So you would call in to the emergency line, or, restoration services whenever, all that stuff
Yeah.
for a claim. So I would work overnight and I would go to school during the day. And when I was done with school, I ended up quitting my job to try and find a salon to work at and stuff. And nobody would give me a chance until I went into a counter at Mac and submitted my resume. I gave my resume to the manager at the time, Armando Ortiz. Amazing person, by the way. And he looked at me and he said, can you come in tomorrow to do a face? And I want to see where your skills are. And I said, absolutely. He asked me a couple questions. I was so excited because everybody wanted to work at Mac at the time, especially
Yeah,
if you
everybody
were-
wanted to work at Mac
Yeah.
and wear Mac lipstick.
Yeah, you
And the lashes.
You were the it girl if you had Mac. You know?
Yeah, setting spray, lashes, and nude lips.
Yeah.
That you were set.
Yeah, that was it. So I did. I went in and he interviewed me. and I finished the face in under 25 minutes. I was so nervous, and he saw my work and he was like, "Wow, like you're really good." He's like, "When can you start?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I got my first job at Mac in the mall." Like, what? And I had taken a pay cut from Farmers to
Yeah.
work at Mac, but I was happy.
Yeah.
You know, I was happy. I was like, this is fun. I like this.
And you got to churn out makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to work with so many complexions and different skin types and really getting to know color theory. And they would take us to trainings. It was fun. It was a beautiful time in my life where I was like, this is fun, but it's still not going to pay the bills. So I was like,
The hustler was
the
there.
hustler in me was like, I need I need money.
And you're still in Oklahoma.
And I'm still in
So
Oklahoma.
did you feel like you were going to be able to make it up there, or did you feel like you needed something bigger? I mean, I love Oklahoma. But
No,
were you in Oklahoma City?
Oklahoma City, yeah.
Yeah, so you were in
Yeah.
a metropolitan, like a
And I
big
had
city.
made a great group of friends, but I knew that Dallas was calling my name from a very young age, always.
Yeah.
So I knew that eventually I was going to move. I just didn't know how. I started applying for jobs at Geico in the claims center down here. I came, interviewed, they didn't give me the job, and I was like, I'm going to come to Dallas. One way or another, I'm going to come to Dallas. And I remember I ended up getting reached out to by Liberty Mutual, and I got hired at their Oklahoma City office. And it's crazy, but 6 months later, they were like, "We're closing all the local stores. You have a few options. We can transfer you." And guess where one of the transfers was?
Dallas.
Dallas. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is my opportunity."
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna go. And there was other like there was Grand Rapids, Michigan. There was Orlando, Florida. There was Pennsylvania. There was like three other centers, and then Dallas. And they're like, go and visit. They paid for your flight to go visit the other centers to look at the area, see if you liked it. And I did. I went to Florida, and I was like, I don't think I like this. Like, I think I'm gonna stick with Dallas. So
Yeah.
I accepted my offer. They gave me a what's it called, like a traveler's package, where a moving package, where they move you. They pay for
I don't know what
moving. They
it's
pay
called.
for
I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So they gave me a moving incentive, and
Mm-hmm.
so but it was with a 1 year contract, so I had to stay with them for a year. And so I was excited. I was ecstatic. I packed up my U-Haul and I said, "Vamos, bitch! I gotta go. I'm leaving. Oklahoma City's not it."
Yeah.
You know, like my family's still there. I love visiting them, but it's just Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma. Nothing
You're
wrong
born
with
in
the
Dallas.
city. But
There's
I was
nothing.
born in
Yeah,
Dallas.
you're
You
born in
know,
Dallas.
I just love the feel of a bigger city.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even though there's bigger cities, but Dallas was. It felt like home every time.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I drove the U-Haul. So excited. Got my apartment. Moved in, and worked for Liberty for a year. And after the first year, I started dipping into taking clients at my apartment when I was living in Plano. So I remember one of my coworkers was like, hey, like, do you know anybody that does makeup? And I was like, oh, I do makeup. She's like, what, really? And I was like, yeah, come on over. Like, what do you have going on? Like, I'll do your makeup. And sure enough, like, she came over and I did her makeup and she loved it. And I was like, oh, like, this is fun. I get to
Mm-hmm.
do this. And I had already kind of experienced freelancing in Oklahoma City because a dear friend of mine had introduced me to it and taught me everything about the business of
Mm-hmm.
makeup and how to get clients and how to have bridal contracts. Like, she was the pivot of my makeup career. Even though I did work at Mac, my friend Gwen introduced me to freelancing. That's where I had a taste of it. She would take me out to weddings with her. I would assist her multiple times. And so I had already gotten a little bit of a taste of the makeup game there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came to Dallas, it was like, um, now I get to do it, and I get to do it in a bigger city,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I did. I would reach out to people. I would do free gigs all the time. I would do makeup for med spas for free for their
Mm-hmm.
like advertisements and stuff like that. And that's how I started. Like I just put my name out there as much as I could. I started making my kit and building my kit, and
What's a kit for those who don't know?
oh, so brushes,
Mm-hmm.
foundations,
So
powders,
foundation, brushes, powders,
yeah,
all your
moisturizers for
moisturizers,
different skin
and then the
types.
box,
Yeah,
the
the
travel, the
travel,
box.
the lights, the
That's
chair.
expensive.
Oh, absolutely, it was
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
But luckily, with like my incentive that I got,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to, splurge on some things, and
Yeah.
that was one thing I did was, you
You
know,
invested.
I
Yeah,
invested.
you invested into your business
Yeah,
that you were building.
yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever I was able to take a little bit more clients, I had pretty much had a taste for building a clientele, but I wasn't ready to quit my job just yet.
Yeah.
So after my year was up with Liberty, I ended up going to a law firm. I'm telling you, I have a lot of jobs.
I have
Every time I
had
talk,
so many
oh man,
jobs.
I know.
I say I'm a
I'm almost
master of
embarrassed.
all and a jack of no, because it's all. Have you ever seen a 10,000 piece puzzle
Yeah, it's huge.
and how long it takes to build
Yeah,
and how amazing they are?
yeah,
And all the little intricate pieces that look all.
yeah,
It doesn't matter if your puzzle. I'd rather have a 10,000 piece puzzle
yeah.
than a 25 piece puzzle.
Yeah, and that's like honestly, that's kind of like what got me to where I am today. All these jobs, and I'm actually thankful for my corporate background because that's what's allowed me to thrive
Yeah.
and like grow my business
Don't be
because
embarrassed.
I, I've learned so much from it. And you're right, I shouldn't be embarrassed.
You're like a million piece
Yeah,
puzzle.
yeah, I'm like a
Yeah.
million piece puzzle. It's chaos,
And that's
but
why you're
it's
here.
beautiful
But that's
chaos.
why you're here
Yeah,
because there's so much. I
yeah,
know that people are going to hear this story and they're going to go, "Oh my gosh, I'm a million piece puzzle too."
yeah,
And I don't need to feel like this I'm building my story. I'm
yeah,
only a 7,000 piece puzzle right
yeah,
now. And they're going to feel inspired to
yeah,
keep going.
yeah.
And on that, there is definitely, I feel like we're going to need some tissues, but I'm like, no, I'm not. So you're in this corporate life.
Yeah,
Your year is up
yeah,
and you are working at an attorney's
yeah,
office. Now,
yeah.
that was but you've got to figure out what avenue, and you need to know about legal stuff anyway
Yeah.
in the day that you're in. And
Yeah.
so it's all, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
a
it all
piece.
kind of like went through the same, I was with Liberty Mutual
Yeah.
Insurance, so then I worked at for personal injury. I was representing the other side.
Yeah.
And so I did that, but I was doing makeup on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So I would pretty much take clients and I would work on them whenever I had time. And I remember I had two roommates at the time. They would be there, and I'd have clients coming in to get their makeup done in my kitchen living
Mm-hmm.
area. And yeah, that I wanted that. That's what I wanted full time, but I just didn't know that I could even make a living out of it. I was networking with photographers, I was networking with models, I was networking with anybody that I could get my hands on. I was doing it. I was giving free makeup away. I was determined. I was determined to build a reputable name for my makeup business, but I just didn't know how to let go of my set job,
Your
my
security.
security,
Yeah, your
because
paycheck.
I was making money. I was making great money. I had a company car. I had a
How
company
old were
phone.
you
I
around
was
this time?
25, 20, yeah, I just 25, about to be 26 when I had started all of that. And
And how long did that go for you?
Um,
The
I'm
attorney job
I was there for a year as well.
for
I was
you.
there for a year, and I remember during that year I met a cool friend of mine. I love her. Her name's Amy, and she's the one who said, "Dude, quit your job. You can do this. You can do makeup, and you can make a living." And I said, "Absolutely not. I've got great company I work for. I've got a company car, like company phone, and I was doing fine, like I didn't need it, but
How were you
I
in
was
your
scared.
mental health?
Stressed all the time because I knew that it wasn't my passion. I was like itching to like know, like I knew that makeup and hair was my passion, but I just didn't know or understand how to tap in, how to like fully cave in and everything's gonna follow through, right? And I I quit. I quit the job because I was encouraged to.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first month I was like, fuck, no,
Yeah.
I can't do this. So I hit up my boss that I had at the time because he was super cool. And I said, dude, I'm coming back. I can't do this. And in that month, I had a taste of freedom. I had a taste of like not working a set schedule. I had a taste of like getting my own money. Just obviously not enough, but I had a taste of it. And in that month I had already built some clients and clientele, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the fear of me not making it was what was scaring me. And so I went back to work, back to the attorney's office. And I remember I was there for about 3 months, and one of my good friends hired me to do her makeup in Las Vegas. And it was during the week. So I asked for PTO, and they denied my PTO. And so I was like, I'm not going to miss out on Vegas. Like, what? And I would give everybody my Instagram because I wanted everybody to like follow me. I wanted to grow my platform. That's where you would see my work. And so I shared all my Instagram with the people at the law firm. So they all knew who I was. And I called in sick. I said, baby, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to do this wedding. I'm going to have so much fun.
Yeah.
And I did. I had a ball. I had a blast. And I don't regret it one bit.
Yeah.
However, I posted it on my story after I called in sick, you know? And I remember I had a coworker like next to my desk,
Mm-hmm.
and she texted me and she said, such and such just ran to the office to like let the head attorney know you're in Vegas, delete the story. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get fired. So I was like, fuck it, it is what it is. Like, I'm gonna enjoy it. Enjoyed Vegas. She paid for my room. This was my first time I had ever gone to travel anywhere for makeup.
To do it, yeah.
She paid for my room. She paid for
Flights and all
flights.
that.
She paid for the makeup, and I was like, "This is so dope! Like, what? I get to travel to do what I love." Like, I started tasting and feeling it, and
Yeah.
it was exciting.
Yeah.
And when I got back, I got fired. I got fired. They pulled me into the office and they said they made me sign an NDA, but pretty much said that like I wasn't meeting
Yeah.
requirements, and I already knew
Yeah.
that I was gonna get fired. I had the feeling that I was gonna get fired, and so I went back to doing makeup again at the
Mm-hmm.
salon, but I was scared. I was so scared, and I it was the fear that I wasn't gonna make it that was stopping me. I wasn't letting go of that fear that I had.
In what way?
That I wasn't gonna be able to pay bills, that I was gonna fail again, that I was gonna lose car, that I was gonna lose. I had already had one car repoed, you know, and I didn't want to lose what I had, my apartment. Like I had, you know, a steady, somewhat like
Life.
life.
Yeah.
And
How'd that month go?
it was hard.
It was hard.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
Um, I started applying for more jobs. I knew that I wasn't going to be rehireable at the attorney's office, so I found another job, and that was at Goldman Sachs. And I was like, I. What's crazy is that the job that I had applied for, I had experience, and it required a bachelor's degree. But I was like, I can do this job like no other, you know. And I went through 4 rounds of interviews. I had a virtual interview. I had a HR interview, a supervisor interview, and then a panel interview with 4 others. They did a huge FBI background check. They made sure that I was bond like there I was eligible for bonds in the event of like, they made sure that my credit was fine. I mean, I went through an extensive um, hiring thing
Process. Yeah.
process, and I got the job, and I was like, holy shit, I'm making more money now than I was at the law firm. So it was like hard
Yeah, it was hard.
because I'm like leveling up in in corporate, but it's not my passion. This isn't what I love. This isn't what I this isn't what I love to do. Like, what am I doing? But it was all the chaos happening that I knew I had to stick around to pay the bills. And I was only there for 2 weeks, Leslie.
Was it overwhelming?
It was overwhelming.
Yeah, what happened after
I
2 weeks?
They had me do a presentation, and I worked really hard for this presentation to pretty much talk to the board about
Uh-huh.
everything that was happening and my report and how we can better things. And none of them were paying attention to me.
Oh shit.
And I poured my heart and soul into it because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to stay in corporate, I need to continue to level up, and I need to, I was almost making 6 figures, and I'm like, I I need to if I'm gonna I need to make money, and I need to if I'm gonna level up, I need to be prepared and all that. And I remember just looking around, and no one was paying attention, and it made me feel like so small, tiny, like I didn't matter. I was just a number at the end of the day.
Just terrible feeling.
Yeah,
But I
and
mean, I think it's pretty accurate.
yeah,
I mean, when you're sitting there and you're the one listening, I think that had that, it made you feel really
it
small.
made me feel shitty.
Yeah. That's not a place for you
It's
to be.
not
That's not a
no,
place for you.
no.
No.
And I remember going back to my desk, and I sat down and I contemplated, and I told myself, is this really what you want to do the rest of your life? You've gone through so many jobs. You've already tasted freedom,
Mm-hmm.
and you know you can make money. It's just going to require really hard work. Really hard work. I typed up the email, my resignation email, and I would delete it, type it up again, and I would delete it. And then I finally typed it up one more time. But I knew that that last email I typed up was an email where I wasn't going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that if I left the way I was leaving, because I didn't even give a 2 week notice, that I was not going to be rehirable. So I left. I left, and I had just gotten an apartment at a high rise in downtown, and I only had a little bit of savings. And I was like, I have to make it. I have to make it. I have to make it. And 2 weeks after I left that job, I get hit, and my car's totaled. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I had no job, and I'm living in a high rise. My car just got totaled, and I have to now figure out how to make ends meet. And so I pretty much went to one of my friends that owned the salon, and I asked her if I could assist or if I could be her receptionist, and she said yes. But I was making 16 bucks an hour. Like, I wasn't gonna make it. And I was trying to get clients. I was trying to make ends meet and hustle. And it got to a point where I couldn't afford my rent. And I, I had an eviction notice. And I was like, wow, this is it. Like, you have literally failed yet again. You've lost your car, you don't have any money, you are making $16 an hour, which that's better than most because minimum wage back then was way less.
Yeah.
And so I cried. I walked into that apartment, I took that eviction notice, and I cried. I was like, what am I going to do? Do I continue to keep going? Do I, like, it was a very dark place. A very dark place.
Had you ever felt like that before?
No,
That was the first time you'd felt that level of, was it was it disappointment? Was it hopeless? Was it helpless? Was it
it was everything.
empty?
Everything.
Oh, that was the first time you'd had deeper feelings.
Yeah, it was really deep because I had been there for so many people, and when this happened to me, there was nobody there to help me when I needed the most help. And so it put me in a place where I was suicidal, you know. I I did feel alone. Um, I felt that there was no way out. And I lived on the fourth floor, so I remember stepping out to the balcony and just finishing it all.
Were you with yourself?
I was with myself,
You were with yourself.
and
Were you praying?
I was. I was praying. I asked for God, like, give me a sign. Give me a sign. Tell me that everything's gonna be okay. That you know, I'm gonna make it. That everything's gonna be fine. That's all I wanted. Because at the time I wasn't getting all the signs. And I had continued to party and all this stuff because I was trying to drown like my feelings and everything that was happening. And I remember when I was outside the balcony and going through my emotions and just crying and letting it out. And right before I decided that I was going to, I um, I asked with so much strength and power to please, like, all I need is a sign. That's it. And something told me to look to my right, and there was a big window that I had never seen before, but there was a big, like, sign, like a neon sign on the window
Mm-hmm.
that said hope. And for me, that was the sign that I needed from God, the higher power, whatever anybody believes in. But for me, it was God that was like, I got you, have hope.
How'd you feel after you saw that?
I felt a sense of, like, r- relief. Um, I felt
Support?
support, even if it was just a little bit of support. I felt that sign hope was a sign of, like, everything's gonna be okay.
Have you ever looked at that word before? Had you
No,
ever thought of the word hope
no.
before? No.
I
And
didn't think of hope of like that, you know? But in that very moment, it was a sign of like,
and you knew what it meant.
I knew what it meant because I had prayed so hard. I was cussing God out
Yeah, I've
in
been
my
there.
own language. Like, and that's how I talk. Like, why me? I've helped so many people. Like, why do I have to get the shit into the stick? But then I realized that I got myself there. You know, I couldn't blame everybody else, and I had to accept that the position I'm in is because I've put myself in there, and this is the route that I need to take. But if I'm gonna take it, I need to better myself. And I did. I I went back inside. I was like, okay, this is I'm not gonna I can't end this. Like life is too beautiful, you know? Like I just got a sign to let me know to have hope, you know?
Hmm.
That everything's gonna be okay. So I started packing things up and selling everything I could because I I I didn't know where I was gonna go. And I hit up a friend of mine because I was on the verge of going back to Oklahoma.
Hmm.
You know, I had called my mom and I told her a little bit of what was happening, and I didn't tell her to the full extent, but because I didn't want her to worry about me, so she was like, "Just come back to Oklahoma," and I was like, "No, I'll be damned. Like I have always wanted to live in Dallas," and so my pride and ego kind of like took me a little bit to really just to understand that I need help, that I
Hmm.
just need a helping hand. And I did. I reached out to her and I was like, what's the worst she can say? No.
Yeah.
And she's like, friend, you can crash on my couch. You're totally fine. And I was like, all right. I mean, I had a little bit of money saved up, and not enough to pay the rent, but enough to pay for a cash car that was going to get me from point A to point B. And I took the last $2,800 I had and I bought a car that had no windows that weren't rolling up, no AC during a Texas summer. Like it's gonna put me to where I need to go, and
Hmm.
that's it. And I did. I took the last bit of money and I moved in. I stayed on her couch, and nobody was hiring me. Nobody was. And I knew that it was part of what I had done last time because I would go to interviews and I would kick ass. They would ask for my referrals, and then
Hmm.
you know they would never reach back out. So I had no choice. I had no choice but to continue to hustle, and I was still putting my name out there, giving free services and trying to get my name out there. And I went and I needed a job at this point. I didn't give a fuck what
Yeah,
it was.
anything.
And I applied at Pluckers,
Hmm.
and I got hired. I was so excited because I had a job,
Yeah.
and I was gonna have somewhat of funds coming in, and I did. I worked for 2 weeks also, which is really weird because everything's
You had
like
a
two
lot of
weeks.
twos that
Yeah,
just was like
it's like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So after training, they put me on the floor, and I was on floor for like 2 weeks, and then um, I was making somewhat good money because
Yeah.
I was working doubles. I was
Yeah.
working like from open to close,
Yeah.
just to stack up money. And there was a manager there that she just didn't like me for some reason, and I gave a chips and queso out, and I got let go of because the client was upset, the customer, and all I wanted to do was just make him happy. So I gave him a chips and queso, and I get fired.
That's craziness. That's
Yeah,
diabolical. That's not even crazy.
they
That's
give free
fucking
shit out all the
crazy.
time.
It's chips and queso.
Yeah, and to get fired for chips and queso, like I even told her,
Yeah, the customer was angry.
I was like, they were upset. Like I needed to, and
Yeah.
come on, like I need the job. And she's like, sorry, like
You're
this, you're
fired.
fired.
So now what?
So I was like, I gotta go. I don't know what to do. So I got in my car and I
This
prayed.
is
I
crazy.
prayed really hard, and I said, just please, like, there's nothing's coming through. Like, nothing's happening. Like, give me a sign, give me another sign. I went home, I cried to sleep, and I get a text message the next morning, and it's this girl who says, "Hey, I'm such and such. I need a trial for my wedding. That's in 2 weeks. I'm telling you, everything's like in two. And she was like, "Are you able to do the trial today?" And I was like, "Yes. When? Where? I need the money. I need
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like, let's go." So I did. I packed my kit up. That's the only thing I had. I had my kit, my clothes, and my car. That's
Yeah.
it. And I went to Frisco. I had a quarter of a gas tank left, and I was like, I have to get there, and I might not even make it back.
Yeah.
You know, so
Because it's a trial.
it's a trial.
It's a trial.
So I walked in, and I remember pulling up, and I was like, wow, this person has a lot of money, because it was a beautiful house, and I was like, I just hope that it goes well.
Yeah.
And before going in, I prayed, and I was like, like, just, I hope everything goes well. And I did her makeup, her hair, and I didn't know who she was until after the wedding. But she loved the hair and makeup so much that she hired me for the wedding day. And she asked me, "How much do I owe you for the trial?" And I said, "Whatever. Whatever you want to tip me is fine." She's like, "No, I need to pay you for your service." And I said, "I just need money. Like, whatever you want to pay me." I was straight up. And I get a Venmo when I left and I started driving. I get a Venmo of $400. And that was my first gig that I had made that much money on for just a trial.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, I got money. I have $400 now. I can buy gas. I can buy food. Like,
I can buy food.
I can
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like so ecstatic. And I remember feeling like everything's going to be okay. Like, I think I got this. I think I got this. And I drove home happy and waited for the wedding. Showed up to the wedding, and I didn't realize that there was like media and there was like a lot of things happening. And I was like, well, who is this person? Because I still didn't know,
You hadn't
I
looked
had
it
no
up.
idea.
No.
And come to find out, she was marrying one of the highest paid uh, cowboy players for the Cowboys. And I was like, oh my God, like, she's someone big.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is so cool. So they asked me for my information because they wanted to provide it for, you know, whatever was going to be posted on.
Uh-huh.
And
The media.
the media, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And she loved her makeup and hair so much that she also had me do her family members.
Uh-huh.
And I had two of my other friends come and like help me with the whole bridal party. And she invited me to the wedding, and I was like, "This is huge." I had seen all the cowboy players.
Uh-huh.
Like, it
Can you
was,
tell us who?
yeah. Her name's Sasha Lawrence.
Does she know that she helped change? Have you told her your story?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Well, she's gonna hear
I
it.
was very thankful for her. I've always told her that I was very thankful for her, and I appreciate for the platform that she gave me, because after that wedding, my entire life changed. Everything changed. Everything changed.
Yeah.
And after the wedding, you know, she asked me for how much I owed her, and I told her the total, and she gave me double that. Like, it's crazy. I still have the screenshots. It was like 4 grand.
She told you your worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to do that to some people. I'm like,
And
oh, you're selling yourself way
and
too
I was
short.
shocked. I was like, "You're paying me too much." And she's like, "No, no, no. I loved everything. Like, you're amazing, and you're gonna be hearing from me." And I worked with her for all her home games, all of his home
I
games.
love it.
I did all of her hair. I did all of her makeup, and It changed everything for me. I was having baseball wives, basketball wives, football wives, cheerleaders, cowboy cheerleaders. I was having all of them.
How'd your confidence feel after that?
Oh,
Did you feel like, were you waiting for the rug to get pulled out ever? Or were you just, no, I'm going to love it?
no.
I'm
I
gonna ride it.
I went for it. Like I told myself stop being scared, because I felt like every time I had fear, it would hold me back. And I told myself this is it. Like you've got to let go of that fear. You've got to let go of being scared because if you do, it's going to hold you back.
Yeah.
Like they just showed you how much you're worth.
Believe it.
And I'm like, it would take me a month to make this. What? Like I just did this in one day? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
That's insane. And I took it with a grain of salt and I went for it. Like with that money, I was able to my best friend who helped me because
Uh-huh.
unfortunately I had an eviction record
Oh, yeah.
and they weren't letting me into apartments. So he moved in with me, which I'm so thankful for him too because he was the one on the lease. And I was able to get the apartment and we lived together and I I just went straight shot.
You went for it, and
Straight
everything
shot.
was working out.
Everything was working out in my favor. And I knew right then and there was like something clicked, like something shifted. After that wedding, it was like, okay, like you are worth it. You can make
You
money.
found some hope.
Yeah, I found hope. And I was like, holy smokes, like I can make really good money doing this.
Yeah, she helped.
Yeah. She
You
put
had it in you.
Yeah, opened
She
it
was
up.
the little messenger
Yeah.
that helped you find it. So you're like, you're on cloud nine in
Yeah.
your world and you're still in Dallas.
Yeah.
How long do you, are you just freelancing? Do you have anywhere that you're working full time where
Yeah.
you get a paycheck, or is it just makeup?
No, it's just makeup.
Just makeup.
I ended up working at a studio. I was paying booth rent and started getting my clientele up. And at first, I was scared to pay booth rent because I was like, I'm not gonna make it. Like I got rent and I got booth rent, but but my name started getting out there,
Yeah.
and people were booking me like crazy. Like I would have, now having 13 clients a day, it's like
Uh-huh.
Friday, Saturday, like that's normal for me now.
Yeah.
But like to have 13 clients in a week was amazing. I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit, like I'm making it.
Yeah.
And I just started like being more careful with how I spent money.
Yeah.
And I worked at the mod lab at the time. That's what it was called.
Uh-huh.
And I gave it my all.
You talk about you took a trip to California.
Hmm.
What was that trip for?
So after being on such a high for so many years and like doing this and like making so much money and now experiencing life, going on trips and like actually connecting with like big celebrities because I got to do a few huge celebrities to do their hair and makeup. And I was like, I can do this. I can do this in California. Like I think that's where I want to be. And I told myself, am I really going to start all over again? But here in Dallas, I had kind of felt stuck. I felt like, what's next after I had reached such a high, you know, pedestal and level? Because I was killing it, friends. I mean, I was making boohoo crazy money. And I was making more than like I've ever made in any corporate job,
Yeah.
and I was like, I can do this. I can do this in another state, and I can do it where I can reach like a higher level. The next level.
Next level. Because LA, California, that is,
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas is, it's got its socialites, it's got its whole,
Yeah.
socialite atmosphere. But LA is different. You
Yeah.
have production,
Everything.
everything out there. So How you just packed up and
I
you thought you were going
decided,
to go out there for a
yeah,
minute?
I decided, I was like, you know
Where'd
what?
you move to out there?
Orange County.
Orange County.
Yeah.
And were you working out there?
No.
No.
I took my life savings that I had saved up because I had
Uh-huh.
saved up. I knew that I would survive a year if I could.
Yeah.
Um, and so I took everything I saved up for those years. And my friend was like, I have an extra room. Um, you can stay here till you figure out like where you want to go. And I did. I left and I had another like identity shift crisis where I was like,
How old were you at this point?
I was 33.
Yeah.
33.
33. What were the days
Thir-
like when you
30.
first got
Yeah,
out there?
33. There were it was I was hopeful. It was
It was
excitement. It
fun.
was change. It
Were you
was
doing stuff?
Yeah, I would
You were
go
trying to
out.
get yourself
Yeah.
established,
I
and
was
then did that stay consistent, or did it start to
it it,
derail?
it started to derail.
Yeah.
It started to derail and I had met some people out there that, were trying to help me and stuff. Um but I started realizing that it wasn't kind of like the environment I wanted to be in. I had struggled so much trying to figure out like my inner self, like my soul, my happiness, and I was just trying to figure out if I wanted to do it in another city. And I did. I went out and I was like, this doesn't feel like me. I started kind of questioning a lot of things again.
You'd already found yourself,
Yeah.
and then you were kind of like, do you think that it was the influences? Maybe not anybody was influencing you, but we take influences obviously, and now
Absolutely.
you're like your brain's going, okay, are we
Yeah.
trying to figure out who we are again,
Yeah.
or and in any of that time, did you ever feel those feelings that you felt in Dallas? So those
Absolutely.
feelings had started to become,
Absolutely.
so yeah,
Absolutely. Like
yeah.
the feelings that I had whenever I had gotten evicted were the feelings that I had again, but not in the same sense, like it was the feelings of fear of like I'm going to fail yet again. Like it's going to change yet again.
Again. Yeah.
And I have my car, like I have life savings now. That's the difference. I've got my life savings. But am I really gonna like go through all of that and lose everything again just because I'm trying to figure everything out?
Yeah.
And I remember there was two clients who would book me often, and she's like, "You have to do what's best for you." She's like, and if because I told her that I felt like I was gonna move back to Dallas because I was starting to get scared
Yeah.
because the consistency wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm brand new to a city. Everybody has their makeup artist, their hairstylist. Like, it's gonna take work to get my name out there.
Yeah.
And she's like, if you have to go back, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I'm gonna feel like a failure because I came and tried it, and I'm going back. And she said, do you know how many people stay where they're at and don't even try it?
Would never have even gotten on the plane.
Yeah.
That's brave.
She's like, you tried it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You gave yourself an opportunity. And guess what? It didn't work out. It's fine.
It's another puzzle piece.
Yeah. It's another puzzle piece. And I remember like I went to the beach because I had an understanding of like life and like things happen and like I understand that fear can get in the way of things. So I went to the beach and I was watching the sunset and I was like, it's okay, to feel scared. It's okay to feel fear that you're not going to make it. But ultimately, like, where are you going to be the happiest? Because I don't want to work to live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to live with
And work.
and work.
Yeah.
And I knew that
provide.
staying where I was gonna stay was gonna be survival again. And I'm like, I I don't think I want to survive again. I want to live. I want to be whole and feel safe and feel good,
Yeah.
because survival is part of growing, right? And uncomfortability is part of growth. But I didn't have to put myself in that position anymore. I had built such a platform in Dallas that I knew how big I can make it. I just didn't realize how big it can get. And so I prayed and I said, "It's me again.
Hey, Sky Daddy.
Hey, I hope that you can give me some more answers." And, I did. I was, it's crazy because I still vividly remember like how the sun was and the smell of the water and the noise of the waves, and the sun was setting, and it was getting dark, and I was like, all right, it's time to go. But I said, if you hear me and it's okay for me to go back home, give me a sign that everything's going to be okay. And I turned around, and when you feel something on your feet and you're like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's already kind of dark outside, so I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And it was, um what is it, coral reef, the stuff that washes up, the
Seaweed?
seaweed.
Mm-hmm.
It was seaweed, and I turned on my flash on my phone, and it was in the shape of a heart, like a perfect heart. And I was like, yo,
Yo!
that's you. That's you. That's you telling me that I got you with love.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. It's fine that you go back. You're not a failure. You're not. Like, everything's going to be cool. Like, you got this. Like, this is part of what you needed to do to now understand where you're going.
How long after the seaweed? How long after that minute?
Uh, a week and a half.
A week and a half.
Yeah,
You needed to
I
make
went
your
home.
arrangements.
Nope, I went home. I had told the friend that I was, that
Your
had
roommate?
rented me a
Uh-huh.
room. I told her, I was like, "Hey, friend, like, this isn't gonna work out for me. I'm gonna go back home." And she's
Yeah.
like, "I understand. No worries. I loved having you here. You're awesome wherever you go. You're gonna do great." And I always knew that I wanted to open up a salon, and I was like, I'm gonna take these savings instead of running through them trying to survive. I'm going to take them and do what I said I was gonna do, and that was to build my salon, my dream salon that I can call home.
Yeah.
And I just had clothes, and I sold whatever little bits of furniture I had left, and I packed my car up, and my best friend came and flew in, and he helped me drive back to Dallas,
Back to the big
back
D.
to the big D.
Yeah.
And I had felt this immense feeling of like hope and existing and happiness, and just so like confident that everything was going to work out in my favor. And I ended up, going back to the salon where I was working at,
Mm-hmm.
and I had heard that it was gonna close down,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, all right, like I need to start making moves now because this salon's gonna close. Like I need to open up my
Yeah,
what I
plenty of
said I was
space.
gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
I told myself I was gonna do this. You didn't come back for no reason, and people I know are questioning like, dang, like he was only out there for 4 months, like what? And I was like, I came back to, but I'm coming back with
Yeah.
vengeance. I'm coming back to do what I said I was gonna do. I left. I left to make
Learn.
sure to learn and to make sure that ultimately this was my ultimate goal. And I did. I found the space.
You went driving.
I went driving. I
You're
saw
looking
it.
around in the neighborhoods, and when you found your space,
I said,
what made you say, "Yep, this is it"?
I was
I mean,
like,
it is really it's a great location. It's a
thank you,
great
friend.
location.
I saw it and I toured it and I instantly knew. I said, I this is big enough to where we can make it happen, but also small enough to not put. I mean, small enough to make it happen, but not big enough to go broke. So I was like, I gotta be smart with this as well, and I did. I talked to the landlord. I was afraid that, you know, all the issues that I had from my past, like they were gonna show up on my credit report, but it didn't. You know, it had been 7 years, so it had fallen off, and like my when they ran my information
Mm-hmm.
from my LLC, everything checked out, and they sent me an email, and they're like, "Hey, congratulations! Like, we've approved your negotiations." Like, I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh my God.
I got keys! I got keys! I got keys to my salon! Like, this is it! Like, this is my first storefront. This is my home. This
You
is where I'm
jump
gonna."
into everything.
Oh yeah, you have to. You have to, without fear, because when I would jump into things with fear, it never went well. It never went
It
well.
would last two
It
weeks.
would last 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And so I went in. I was scared, but I was not scared to like back out or anything. Like I knew that going into this, it wasn't gonna be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, it was not easy.
No,
No.
no. You dealt with permits, contractors. You had something go wrong in your build out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
My
was
yeah, my floors. I had
floors.
to uh, repay to get them done because I had gone a cheaper route, and they
Were you ever expecting these things?
no.
How did you handle them when they came?
Um, a lot of stress, um, a lot of questioning, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this the right path? Like, are you sure?
The heart
The heart?
didn't nope.
Yeah.
Did you go back to those moments?
Mm-hmm. I would go back to like everything that has happened in my life to where I've been at then and now, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I would tell myself like, look at you, like you have keys to your place. You are building out a salon. It's fine. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that when I shift into that mindset where, because I have two battles with my mind, and I think everybody does. My negative battles don't outweigh my positive battles. So when my mind is in this positive state of like mind, like I can achieve everything, anything I put my mind to it. But when I put my mind into the negative patterns or the negative thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and feelings, nothing ever comes out of it. So I would shift from like, this is going wrong, like why me, to no, fuck that. Get out of that mindset, get your shit together, everything's gonna be okay. Keep going. And I kept going.
You were the parent.
Yeah, and I didn't have money to hire an interior designer. I did everything. There was so many there was over 30 swatches on my wall of paint, of white paint, different whites, different colors, so that I had to choose the right one because I wanted to go with a specific style, a specific aesthetic, what I've dreamed of, what I wanted, what I've imagined. It's got to be perfect.
Was there anything that you let go where you go, I want it to be perfect, but I'm going to let it go because it's not worth the mental turmoil?
Yeah.
Were there things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I had to leave a wall up because I didn't have any money to knock it out.
Okay.
I had to stop. I couldn't afford my sign, so I had to
Okay.
stop that. And because I still have bills and I still have to survive, right? So
And rent?
I have, yeah, so I still have to make sure that like I'm spending on what I need. And the floors needed just some fixing I had to fix, and I had to let go of like they're not gonna be like ideal, you know, like, but
Well, when they're walking out and they're flurring their
yeah,
hair and batting their
yeah,
eyelashes, nobody's looking at the
yeah, and then
floors.
and then we ended up perfecting them to the point where it's like
Mm-hmm.
it looks beautiful, just what I wanted,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Like I remember when they coated them, and I was like, man, it's not gonna turn that color. Like I just know it. And I walk in the next day, and I'm like, oh my god, like they look so good. They look just like what I envisioned and what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I was like, everything else can wait. Like I can arch my other wall later. I started putting in the furniture. I got custom cabinets and, you know, the mirrors and all that stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I started resourcing everything. And when stuff started coming in, I was like, wow, it's happening. And then another fear of mine was like, nobody's going to want to work with me. Like, I'm scared. Like, I'm building up the salon. Like, what if I don't have anybody that wants to come in?
And what happened?
2 months later, I had a full staff.
Full
I have
staff.
full, all like contractors. They're all independent contractors. They're all amazing. They all have their own businesses inside my business. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to create a concept where artists and stylists can come and work and, do their brand within my brand because I
Mm-hmm.
want them to evolve. I want them to eventually, if they want to open up a salon, they can
Go do
go
theirs.
do it.
Yeah.
And you know what's really cool too? Like I don't have any leases at my space. One thing I don't believe in is holding on to people that don't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to go after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, by all means,
Preferably two.
yeah, preferably two because I love the
Preferably
number
two.
two.
You should not.
But I stopped thinking that nobody wanted to work with me, and I started shifting again into everything's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be full, and then boom.
The what ifs I've heard are the anxiety of the
Hmm.
future, and it's like we don't even know if the future comes,
Yeah,
and that's where that
yeah,
anxiety never lives in our
yeah,
past. I mean, okay, anxious feelings can arise from triggers that remind us of our past, but our fears really live in the future. And when you go the what if and the
yeah,
what if, and that's when my little brain goes, oh, he's talking about the future, and
yeah,
it's like, yeah, those little they
yeah.
chip away. You opened, which I got invited to the
Yes, you came to the grand
opening. I got to
opening.
come.
I
You
was so
opened on
excited.
Sunday, July
I
20th
did,
at
yeah.
3 p.m.
Yeah, 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m. And that was this past year on
Yeah.
2025.
Uh-huh.
When you first thought of everything in California, what year was that? When that
2024.
2024.
Summer of
In one
2024.
year.
Uh-huh.
And how
Summer of
old were
2024.
you when you opened?
35.
35. A
Wait, no, no,
lot
30 full. Yeah, I had just turned 35.
a lot changed
Yeah.
from 33 to 35.
Yeah. No, no, sorry, 34.
34
Yeah,
in 1 year.
34
A
and
lot
then
changed.
35. Yeah. In 1 year, a lot changed. But a lot changed because of my mindset.
Yeah.
Because I stopped going into that scared, you know, little boy that was not going to make it, or that scared, you know, teenager, or that
Yeah.
scared young adult, or that scared all those phases of Omar that kept me from so much. I remembered what the Omar now has done and is capable of, and it shifted. The grand opening. I even was like, what if nobody shows up? And my partner at the time was like, yeah, everything will be fine. Everything's gonna go well. And I had so
It was
many
packed.
people.
It was so
It
packed.
was so packed
And I
that
saw your mom.
the AC wasn't going. I was so nervous about my speech. Like, it got so hot in there too because so many people were there. We were like packed.
It was packed, but it was
And
so fun.
yeah, and
It
my
was good
speech,
energy.
good energy, beautiful energy. Like, I so much love and so much so many people that showed up that, I was like, wow, like I do have a big group of people cheering me on, and although I don't see it, it showed that night. It showed what kind of impact I am making in my community,
You
you know,
are.
because like it's not easy, you know, being a minority and trying to build a business is it's hard, and I'm the first out of my family to have my business of my immediate family, and even my brothers were like, I've never heard them say I'm so proud of you, like you inspire me and motivate me, and my mom to say like I'm so proud of you, like I know she's very proud of me, but had never like actually heard her say it, but I don't blame her for not saying it because
Mm-hmm.
I know how she grew up, and I know that she's trying her best, and even now she's still trying. But that day she was crying, and when I cut my ribbon, she hugged me and she leaned in and she said, "I'm so proud of you." And that that was that was what I had been wanting to hear for a very long time, and to see everyone there having a good time and just enjoying the moment.
It was really nice. It's inspiring for your whole family. You have cousins, nieces, nephews. I'm
Hmm.
sure you have a large family, and you, where all of these parts that you thought you failed.
Yeah,
I failed in this, I failed in that. I've now had all these jobs. Like I witnessed you
yeah,
talk about, and what I'm seeing is you got knocked down and you got back up, and then you got knocked down again, and then you took a chance. And then you tried something new and you got knocked out and you were like, oh, that's okay. I'm just going to try it this different way.
yeah,
You know how many people just don't? They don't
yeah,
even try.
yeah,
And you've shown that you could do it without being handed anything.
yeah,
You've done this. It's incredibly inspiring.
yeah.
What is something that you would like to say to someone who's, this I was telling Curtis, my husband, you're here because there is going to be a 16, 17, 18-year old, 19, 20, 25. Somebody's going to stumble upon this podcast. It's going to be sent to them. They're going to watch it and they are going to hear the encouraging words that they didn't get at
Yeah.
home, not for on purpose, not for any reason other than their parents were not equipped to give them encouragement. They didn't even know that encouragement was a possibility. They've
Yeah.
only known what they've known. And I, even in this podcast, when I started this 4 months ago with you, having these conversations about it, I have taken a lot of my courage from your story
Yeah.
and your words of encouragement towards me. It's like, just fuck it, just go for it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't mess up if you're trying.
Yeah.
You cannot mess up. It can look like a big mess up, it can
Yeah.
look like a big mistake. It can be a repossessed car, it can be an eviction, it can be arrested, it can be anything. It's not over until you say it's
Yeah.
over.
It's not. I think what my message to anyone,
To you, to
and
yourself
to
when you
myself,
were younger, what would you have said?
that everything's gonna be okay. And no matter how many times you get knocked out, as long as you remain kind, have a good heart, and you keep going, you're always gonna make it. You're always gonna be on top.
Omar, I thank you so much for
Thank
coming in and sharing your story with my audience. Every time I talk to you, and it won't be the last time we talk about our lives, it's just entangled in who we are
you. Yeah.
because it's what made us the people that we are today. Figuring it out one day at a time. Do you think that you have it figured out today?
No.
Like,
Have I unlocked certain things and have reached a level? Absolutely. But am I done? I don't think we're ever done.
no, we're going to evolve. I think you need to put all the information that you have been given through these people when you're like, and they showed me how to do this. We need to compile an Omar binder.
Yeah.
Not a little, a 10,000 piece puzzle
Yeah.
binder. And to show others
Yeah.
that this can be done. Like,
We're
hard
human.
work. We're human.
We're human. We are all the same. We all come from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
different skin colors. We all bleed the
Love
same.
interests,
Yeah.
everything.
But we all bleed the same.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, we're energy, and the energy that you put out there is the energy that you're going to get back. So I always say that, like, it doesn't matter what it is, you know, it's shifting your mindset and just being a good person. We're always evolving, anywhere we go, any lifetime, we're always evolving. We're never done evolving. That's the beautiful thing about life, like, that's what makes us human, is that we evolve all the time. You never stop. Never.
I'm excited to continue to watch you evolve.
Thank you, love.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here and to be present in your presence as well.
I appreciate you. Thank you for doing After the Anchor podcast.
Absolutely.
And thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.